This is Brancalonia, or should I say Brancalonia. It is a fully fledged campaign setting in the totally not made up genre of spaghetti fantasy. And these are the expansions already out for the campaign setting, and although Brancalonia already has a very loyal cult following, I think it's about time more people know about it. Little disclaimer. If you are opposed to a little nudity or the text literally talking about how much hair a female version of a certain race has on their groin, don't buy this book. Hi there fellow roleplayers and game masters, my name is Mr. Tarosky and this is still your go-to YouTube channel for anything third-party 5th edition related, and today I want to talk about Brancalonia, which is a campaign setting in a fictional fantasy version of Italy and surrounding places. And outside of an unboxing video, I haven't really talked about this just yet on my channel, which is a damn shame, because not only does this have a very loyal, specific cult following across the internet, a bunch of you in the comment section and on Discord and on Facebook and on Twitter have been asking me to talk about this on my channel. And I thought there wasn't a better moment in time and space to talk about it than when they're releasing their third Kickstarter. So in this video, I want to give you a quick rundown of what Brancalonia is and what it feels like and what I like about it, and quickly look into the PDF of the setting book and kind of show you a thing or two. And then I want to look over to the Kickstarter page and kind of show you the reason why I think now is the moment to get into Brancalonia. So in general, Brancalonia is a spaghetti fantasy campaign setting. Spaghetti fantasy is a genre that probably never ever did exist somewhere ever in the world until Acheron games came up with it themselves, and I couldn't find a better word to describe what Brancalonia is than spaghetti fantasy. What it does in general is it takes Italian folklore, Italian people, Italian customs, Italian locations, Italian everything, and kind of mucks with it, but makes it cool at the same time. It is meant to be over the top at some occasions. It's meant to tell stories of Italian folklore, but through a more fantasy-like lens, and it does that very well. And if you know me, you know that I really love campaign setting books that have everything you need to start playing and play entire campaigns in one setting, in one book. And this is exactly that. It has races, it has spells, it has feats, it has backgrounds, it has subclasses for every class in the 5th edition player's handbook, and it has the kingdom of Brancalonia and all of that stuff completely written out with like plot hooks, with NPCs, with politics, with everything you expect within the 200 pages of this book. On top of that, they have a bunch of new monsters, and on top of that, they even have like, I don't know how many of them there are, there's about like 6 new adventures set in different parts of the kingdom, giving the players more of a boots on the ground feel of the kingdom. Instead of you telling them where they are, they kind of get to play the adventures. I really love that. I really like to introduce kingdoms or realms or whatever, the location my players are in. I like to introduce that through adventure, and having 6 adventures in here is just the ultimate way to do that. Little disclaimer. If you are opposed to a little nudity or the text literally talking about how much hair a female version of a certain race has on their groin, don't buy this book. Like I said, there are a bunch of expansions already out there, which I won't be really talking about in this video because it's just too much to talk about in one video. There's the Brancalonia, which has all of the stretch goals of the first Kickstarter just slapped together in one book. It is a Jinx Almanac, which is a bunch of articles that they released in like a few years ago, and they just put that in one book, which has like extra stuff about Brancalonia. Then it has Empire Wags Back. Yes, which literally has Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and Darth Vader with a bunch of stormtroopers on the cover, which is really cool. This book contains an original gaming campaign made up of 10 interconnected episodes, and also features additional content unlocked during the outstanding crowdfunding campaign held in 2021. So this is a campaign big adventure, so it's a bunch of adventures, big, that form one big campaign, and it's just really funny, fun title. So now that you probably still don't have the slightest idea of what Brancalonia exactly is, here is the PDF of the Spaghetti Fantasy campaign setting, Brancalonia, of the setting book. So it has a bunch of different books, it has all the stuff. Now, I really love this for a few reasons. First of all, I do not know a lot about Italian culture, about Italian folklore. Like, I've been to Italy a few times. I went on skiing trips, I went on other trips just going through the mountains, and so I know there's a lot of Italian people living in Belgium where I live, so I know Italians and Italy. I know there's like Rome and the Colosseum, and I know there's like Venice, but other than that, I do not know like the deep folklore, like the deep customs that are rooted in like the Italy stuff. So what does Brancalonia? It takes all of that stuff, all of those stories, all of those tales, all of those people from medieval times and all that stuff, and it puts that in a fantasy setting. And it does that really well, for me at least, for somebody who doesn't really know about it. Now, something that I really love about this is one of the first pages of this book is this one. So, knights in shining armor lead fearless armies against terrifying enemies. Skilled treasure hunters ready for anything. Explore the forgotten basement of a long-lost empire. So, it talks about like these skillful knights and tales of glory, and then it goes into, but you're not one of them. You are the ones who step in when things go wrong. Lazy swindlers, low-life scoundrels, listless daddlers, and greedy knaves. They call it knaves? Is that like knaves or knaves or whatever? The ugly, the dirty, the bad ones. That's you, in short. You're the dregs of the adventuring worlds, the cannon fodder of all battles, the scum that emerges when you scrape the bottom of the barrel, the dirty dozen that is pulled out of a prison only for desperate missions. Do you find this unfair? You're not stupid then. It is unfair. But let's face it, fate has better things to do than bother playing fair with the likes of you. Enough talking. Escape gallows, it's time to get busy. This bit of text drew me into the campaign setting. Up until I read this bit of text, I was like, it's probably cool. It's probably cool enough for like people who like it. And it is not per se my cup of tea. But when they did this to me, I was sold instantly, because it talks about like the Han Solo type, the Suicide Squad type, right? The people that come in and take the shit from the floor and toss it at the enemy, like the people that need to like get down, get their boots dirty, and to do the stuff that other people don't want to do, and people don't care about if they make it out alive or whatever. It's the work of scums, and I like that. Now, another thing I really like about this book is they go over like a bit like what the book is and how it feels and all that stuff, and then they instantly go into the races and the subclasses, which is something that I really like. Instead of first going into the world and telling these tales and all the politics and all that jazz, they put that in a later chapter. And I actually really like that. A lot of books do it the other way around. I often find myself flipping to the back, going to the races and the feats and the spells and the subclasses before I actually like read the thing, like the main part, the main campaign setting part of a book. Because I think reading the races and the classes and the feats and the spells gives you more sometimes of a vibe of what something is than reading entire blocks of text, which you might be interested in when you first go to the races to say classes. Probably I'm making sense in my own head, maybe not for you. So there is a human in here, it's a variant. There are gifted in here, there is a Morgant in here, and this is where they literally talk about the groin area of the women of the Morgants having a lot of hair. They talk about Sylvan, they talk about Marionette, and I really like this kind of art. You know, probably if you know me, I like the vaguer black and white art because it speaks more to the imagination. It's more like, this is an idea and make of it what you want. It's not like a scene or anything painted out. But what I find, look at this is really cool. This is like really, really like dancer, like almost nude type person. What I think is more interesting are the classes. They have a subclass for every class in the Player's Handbook for 5th edition. They have a new Primal Path. which is Path of the Unheard of Furiosity. For example, it has an unstoppable rage. You cannot be restrained while you rage. You are restrained when you enter a rage. The effect ends immediately. Additionally, difficulty terrain and magical efforts cannot reduce the base walk speed. So if you get restrained, you just start raging. It's like, you break yourself free, which is a really cool feature. I'm just gonna flip through this because it's not like a complete review just yet of this setting. I am planning on talking about this setting more on my channel, especially if you want to hear more about it. If you want to hear more about Brancalonia, put that in the comments below, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, do all of that stuff, so I know that it interests you, because if it interests you, I'm here to deliver on that and tell you more about it. I really like the Bard, the Harlequin. New Bard College of Carnival. So they call these people Harlequins, which is cool because they have something called a slapstick. When you are attacked by a creature, you can use your reaction to extend one of your uses of Bardic Inspiration to distract the opponent, which must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC or be charmed until the next turn. And lose its current attack. Now, be charmed by you, it should probably say. And this is this artwork is really cool. It's just showing his butt. It's just showing his butt crack right here, right? And it's okay. This is there's fire coming out of his. that makes it not weirder. That makes it actually look at his face. Look. Okay, he's really funny, Harlequin type of guy. Some of the text in here, you can feel that it is written by people. Like, there are people in the team who are not natively English, which is perfectly okay, which is perfectly fine. It is not like a main thing that bothers me or bothers anybody probably, but just there's some small stuff in here where you're like, I would have said that just a little bit different. Like, I'm not native English, so I'm not saying I'm much better than that, but I just feel there's a difference between like something written by Italian people and something written by American people or British people, which is normal because it's also with like Dutch people. It's also like with like I have there's Dream Realm storytellers from Turkey. From Istanbul, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you can feel it's not native English, like what they write. So that's just a thing. There is a new cleric subclass. There's all kinds of stuff. One that I find really interesting, of course, is the sword fighter, who has is really good at sword fighting, basically, and dueling, because if you are within 5 feet of a creature and no other creature within 5 feet of you, you can add your proficiency bonus to the damage rolls against that creature. This is really unique. Most of the time, you get fighter features where you get stronger the more people that are around you. Like, if there's another one, you can cleave and you can do more damage to their neighbor, or if an ally is next to you, you can do more damage because there is an ally next to you. That stuff. No, this literally says, if you are doing a 1-to-1, right? You are within 5 feet of a creature and there is no other creature, not an ally, not an enemy, no other creature within 5 feet of you, you can add your proficiency bonus to the damage rolls against that creature. So this is like literally only if you are dueling, 1 against 1, only if you are being Jack Sparrow on top of a cartwheel or whatever. There is a new monk, paladin, really cool artwork of this horse looking really badass. Yeah. There's a ranger, which I think has incredible artwork. Not the type of artwork we're used to from a ranger, because they have like this big axe, they have a whip, they have a big knife here, they only have an eye patch, so it's really cool that they have this. They gain the ability to focus your efforts on killing a single prey. As a bonus action, you can choose a creature that you can see within 60 feet of you. For 1 minute, you gain the following bonus against the chosen creature. Proficiency bonus added to damage, weapon rolls are critical on a 19 and a 20, and you add your wisdom modifier to your AC against attacks made by the creature. So it's a really cool subclass for the ranger. Another cool class is for the sorcerer, called the superstition, which has a very cool feature called superstitious ritual. At 6th level, you are able to cause a powerful 10-minute ritual, blah 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 blah. So you can choose one of the following effects for the creature you perform the ritual on. The creature has resistance against a type of damage of your choosing: acid, bludgeoning, cold, fire, lightning, necrotic, piercing, slashing, thunder. When a creature rolls a 1 on an ability check or saving throw, that creature can reroll the die. Or when a creature is reduced to 0 hit points but not killed outright, a creature can drop to 1 hit point instead, basically making them half-orc, giving them the half-orc relentless endurance or some, what is it called, feature, which has always been one of my favorite features for the half-orc, for like a race in 5th edition vanilla, 5th edition player's handbook stuff. Now you get to choose one of these, which is really cool, because it is really like a team player type of thing where you're about to go into a dragon's lair, right? And it's a fire dragon. You know it's a fire dragon. It's going to have that fire breath weapon or whatever. Or you're going into like a dungeon that has a lot of lava pits going on and stuff like that. You just give people resistance to fire damage. Or in other situations, you might want to go into a old tomb that probably has undead mummies or whatever. You give them resistance to necrotic damage, stuff like that. Or if you don't really know what's going on, you give them the relentless endurance. If they drop to 0 hit points, they drop to 1 hit point. I don't know if the one, like, basically giving them the lucky feat is good enough against these other things, right? So I think rolling a 1 only happens now and then, every once in like 20 rolls, mathematically speaking, but I just don't think that happens enough, or that is important enough to take that reroll, because a reroll doesn't mean you're going to hit, it means you get a reroll, right? So I don't know if that's strong enough to be in there, but it's cool that you get the choice. Then there is a warlock with a black cat, and there is a really cool, I really love this wizard artwork, basically. And because I don't want this video to turn into a full review just yet, I just want to point you towards the mere existence of Brancalonia. There is an entire chapter on the Bounty Kingdom, which is like all of the stuff which has a hasty history of the kingdom. There is a bunch of adventures, running tips on how to run Brancalonia, what is spaghetti fantasy, all of that stuff. I want to just quickly do one more thing, show you one more thing. Also, there's monsters in here, there is NPCs in here, feats in here, items in here, all that stuff. I just want to show you really quickly one more thing, which should be on page 82-ish or something like that, which is the dive generator. A dive is basically a place you go to like recharge, like an inn or a tavern or a hotel, whatever, and they have this entire random generator to create your own dive. For example, you could create, if you roll a d20 and you get like a 3, you get red, and you get like a 4 on your d20, you get the red boar. So your inn or whatever is the red boar. Then you roll a 5. It is not an inn, it is a hangout. It serves as a base and refugee for one or more of the district's companies, blah blah blah. So you can create your own dive. That's basically what they call it. There's more here, like what is the innkeeper called and what's their deal, what are the peculiarities of the place, the specialties of the place, the drinks of the place, stuff like that. There's also a section, Roads to Nowhere, where you generate your own road that basically goes beyond the realm, and then they give you kind of like a hint or a sentence to start from to kind of create adventures or whatever outside of the Brancalonia campaign setting, which I think is a really, really cool concept in its own. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the perfect reason I think it is now the perfect moment to get into a Brancalonia. I'm going to assume you haven't gotten into Brancalonia yet, because judging from the comments on my videos, a lot of people are asking about what it exactly is and what spaghetti fantasy means and all of that stuff. So as you can see, this Cockstarter, I saw a cock, like a rooster right here, and I literally said Cockstarter for some reason. So this Kickstarter has reached already 76,000 euros out of the 20k they were looking for, and while recording this video at 7:45 in the evening for me in Belgium, it has been live under 5 hours. Yes, it is a short Kickstarter, only 10 days, so I have 9 more days to go, and they already have like a shit ton of money, proving again that it already has a great following. It is the third Kickstarter in the series already. It has a great following. There's a lot of people that actually that want to pick it up, that want to support it. So yes, the books are quality. People are loving it. People are picking it up, and it's just a matter of you clicking the link in the description below and seeing for yourself if it's for you, basically. So I'm gonna just go quickly here and say a few things because so there's 3 new books coming. Basically, there is the Furious Lands and Other Dirty Jobs. There is the Bounty Kingdom Gazetteer, and then my favorite, there is the Spaghetti Fantasy Bestiary. And the reason I think this Kickstarter is interesting is because if Brancalonia, the entire series, needed one thing, it was a bestiary. Because there are monsters in this book, and there are monsters scattered across the books for sure, and these monsters are crazy, wicked, weird, Italian folklore monsters, from sea dragons and monsters all the way up to like, I don't know, flaming knights and stuff. But it needed a dedicated bestiary. And now this bestiary is coming. And for me, there's of course other books that are interesting. You get like, if you already have like this pile of books and then all of the other ones, right? You'll have a big pile of books that will give you gameplay for like your lifetime if you want, because that's I think it is interesting. I think that's why this Kickstarter is interesting. So you can get the 3 PDFs for 39 euros, which is very good deal. It's all in euros. That's because it's an Italian company. They do stuff in euros, just like in Belgium. You can get... oh, this is interesting. This is not yet the really interesting one. So 78 euros, you get the 2 new PDFs of the Bestiary and the other book. So the PDFs and the physical copies. So you get the Bestiary and the Bounty Kingdom Gazetteer, and you get a third map pack, a digital map pack for $78. I think that is a really good deal. That is about like 36 euro per book, if you do not count like the maps and the PDFs. So that's crazy good. You can also take the same deal, but not get the Bounty Kingdom Gazetteer. You get the Bestiary, and you get the original source book. And this is why it's interesting right now. If you want to get into Brancalonia, you want to pick up the source book. I'm going to assume you want to pick up the source book if you want to get into the setting. So having the source book, for me personally, this would be it. If I start with Brancalonia, this would be it. I'd buy the source book and I'd buy the Bestiary. Because the source book already has a bunch of adventures in it. It has classes, it has races, it has all that crap you need to start playing in Brancalonia and start eating spaghetti in a fantasy setting. And it has the Bestiary, so your game master has all the beasts to pit against you to start playing. So I think for a newer person who doesn't want to spend like a shit ton of money, but also wants to get into Brancalonia, this is for me where it's at. Of course, there's other ones. There's all of the PDFs for $99. You get all of the PDFs of all of the Brancalonia books released. You'll probably be overwhelmed to the bone for that. $150. You get 3 books, 3 PDFs, a set of dice. You get like this thing when you're cooking, because there's new rules coming for monster cooking. You get the maps, and we can go on 4 days. If you want the Principino, you'll be paying 300 euros. You'll be getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 physical books, 7 PDFs, a set of dice, there is even, I didn't see that before, there's even a Game Master screen, there's maps, a bag for your dice, and then the skirt again, which is a really good deal, right? But a lot of people who are new to this will probably not be picking this up because it's a big investment upfront. I think getting into the setting, being new to the setting, and really testing it out, this is going to be the one for you. If you are If you can also get this one and then get the Brancalonia source book as an add-on, which would be, of course, totally amazing. So if this Kickstarter, if Brancalonia interests you to the slightest, now is the time. Now is the time to strike a good deal, get a good hardcover in your mailbox and some PDFs. And until next video, bye-bye.